What up, everyone? Welcome back to the WrestleMania Rebooking Show. We are on episode 8. That means we're doing WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 8 was held on April 5th, 1992 in Indiana in the Hoosier Dome. And the attendance was 62,167. Tagline, friendship torn apart. And the Macho Flair affair. So yeah, this was kind of the first WrestleMania that was dubbed double main event. I know WrestleMania 3 had Macho and Steamboat and Hogan and Andre, but this was the first WrestleMania where they actually advertised that this would be the double main event. And then going into the show, you actually didn't know which match would headline, because usually the WWF Championship match does headline, but also usually Hogan headlines. So it was kind of interesting to see where they go. They obviously went with Hogan and Sid, which when you look back at it, it was definitely a mistake. And this came after the 1992 Royal Rumble. The company had a lot of momentum. You know, you had that star-studded Royal Rumble. Great talent. Roddy Piper was back. You know, Undertaker was just, starting off. Jake Roberts, he was around still after a great heel run. Yeah, and then Hogan, Sid Justice, they were around as well. So, yeah, just looking at the card, though, it was a little underwhelming, considering, there was a big dream match that didn't happen. I'm sure you all know what match I'm referring to. And that match definitely should have happened, but it didn't. So best believe that on my card that dream match I'm referring to definitely is going to happen. So I just had to mix and match a couple of people. And yeah, there were some good things on the show. We had Bret Hart, Roddy Piper. I'm pretty sure that'll be on my card. So yeah, and also I just wanted to pay off a couple of feuds that I felt definitely deserve a better payoff. So let's get into my card. Welcome to WrestleMania 8. The opening match, we got Tatanka versus the Mountie. Again, very simple feud. Tatanka, he is indigenous. He's the First Nations, Indian. And the Mountie, those were Canadian police. And, there's kind of history there, especially because I am from Canada, that, the Canadian police definitely, mistreated like the Indians and First Nations. So, we can have the Mountie say people like Tatanka, they're wild savages and, they're menace to society. And yeah, Tatanka can, get his redemption at WrestleMania, which he does. He has to get his redemption. This ain't no Booker T, Triple H BS. And yeah, some say that it can be, a little controversial and maybe not good taste, but it's kind of based on reality. So, in that, a lot of police, that's how they felt about the Indians and all that. So, yeah, I think it'll be a fun match, good opener, give Tatanka the feel-good win. And we're on to the next match. Next match, we got Big Bossman versus the Repo Man. Again, simple feud. Big Bossman, he's the law. He's a good guy. And obviously, Repo Man, he's out here breaking laws and all that. So it's basically an easy feud where, both characters, are a great fit. And yeah, it just makes sense that, Big Bossman says, he wants to stop this injustice. And Repo Man, he can, try and steal Big Bossman's cop car or something like that. So I think it'll be a fun feud. Big Bossman gets the win. Yeah, another feel-good match. Next match, we got Owen Hart versus the model Rick Martel. Yes, this is when Owen, he was still babyface. I believe around this time he was probably teaming up with Coco Beware, but I wouldn't have that. He'd just be a straight-up singles competitor. And Rick Martel he's trying to get in Owen's head. This is kind of like the build to Owen's heel turn. He gets in Owen's head and he says, I left Tito Santana And look what happened to me. Now I'm the true star. I'm out of his shadow. You should do the same thing to Bret. And he tries to get Owen Hart to, turn on Bret. But Owen Hart, he's not having it. And Owen Hart says, I don't need to turn on Bret because I'm actually better than you. And they can have the match. Could be a fun, solid match. Rick Martel and Owen Hart, great workers. I give Rick Martel the win. He still had steam as a heel. And also kind of plays into the story eventually where Owen Hart will turn. So, yeah. Next match, we got Shawn Michaels versus Tito and Santana. Again, this is coming off where Shawn Michaels basically, threw Marty Jannetty through a barber's window. That's pretty much what happened. And yeah, it was a big heel turn. And yeah, a new character shift for Shawn Michaels. And this match will be coming based on the match prior where, Tito Santana can say, Shawn, why'd you turn on your partner? I was turned on by Rick Martel. It's not right, He's trying to get Shawn to apologize, but Shawn's not having it. Shawn super kicks Tito Santana, and that kind of builds off their feud. So, yeah, it'll be a good match to get Shawn Michaels a win. Tito Santana, he's already established, great sympathetic babyface. But it's a good match to start off Shawn's single career in WrestleMania, and Shawn's gonna have a lot of great matches at WrestleMania. So, stay tuned. Next match, we got the Sgt Slaughter and Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus the Nasty Boys. Again, just a little fun, mid-card tag team match. Sgt Slaughter, he can turn on Adnan. He can come back home like that promo where he's like, I want my country back or something, whatever he said. So that puts the bet to Sgt Slaughter's main event run. But yeah, it was kind of overdone anyways. And yeah, him and Hacksaw continue up against the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys can say, they're true America. This patriotic crap is all nasty and all that. And they America shouldn't be all about that. It should be, being tough and nasty and all that. So kind of a play on, patriotism and that, devoting yourself to the country and all that is not what it is. It's about being nasty and being ruthless. So that can kind of be the crutch of the feud. And yeah, I'd give the Nasty Boys a win. Sgt Slaughter and Hacksaw, they're kind of, to me at this time, they're probably like kind of done with. So yeah, give Nasty Boys a win. And they'll probably be in the tag team division, for the rest of the year. So yeah. And then we got the World Tag Team Championship match. We got Monney Inc. versus the Legion of Doom. Again, just simple build-up where, Monney Inc., they try to, buy Legion of Doom because they say, we need some security. We need some heavies to help us out. Legion of Doom would not be having all that, and they'll just attack Monney Inc., and that'll be the start of the feud. And yeah, it'll be a good tag team match. Ted DiBiase, he has a big name. And Legion of Doom as well, they have a big name. So it'll be a big time tag team match when we give Legion of Doom the win. It'll be a nice feel good moment for Legion of Doom. And they could feud with the Nasty Boys down the road. And then we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Roddy Piper versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Again, keep all of this the same. It was a great match, and it was actually a great moment for Bret Hart to finally break through as a singles competitor. And I think it was a very important match because, as you can see, in real life the next year, Bret Hart walked into WrestleMania as a WWF champion. So, yeah, you got to keep the match the same. The build the same where, Piper could say, I was with your dad and I was in the dungeon working out and you're a little kid. Kind of like, not being a heel, but he's kind of like, not taking Bret as serious because, he kind of saw him as a little kid and all that. So it's a great dynamic. And that part where Piper got the bell and he didn't use it, I think that was a great moment. And it was believable that Piper could turn heel, but he didn't. And Bret Hart gets the win. All right. Now we got the triple main event, in my opinion. We got Sid Justice versus The Undertaker. And this match could start at the Royal Rumble. Sid Justice can eliminate The Undertaker. Do remember that Sid Justice was a face coming into the match. I'm sure, some people may forget because he did eliminate Hogan and he was kind of viewed as the villain. Even though he was cheered when he eliminated Hogan, obviously WWE, they had to change the sounds for that, to keep Hogan strong, brother. But in my rebooking, Sid stays a face and he fights The Undertaker 5 years before their eventual match at WrestleMania 13. And yeah, I'm sure this would be a better match because, they didn't really have the pressure to be in the main event. Sid was, he was still super over as a face, and Undertaker was still great as a heel. And it's just a simple match, It starts at the Rumble, and Sid could say he's all about justice, and Undertaker could say he's all about, the darkness. So it'll be a battle of justice versus darkness. Who wins? Obviously, darkness. Obviously, The Undertaker. I think this is a big-time win for him. And, yeah, to get him on the streak this early, I think would only be beneficial for The Undertaker. And also keep Sid face because he was still hot as a face. All right. Now we got, in my opinion, the semi-main event. We got the Macho Man Randy Savage versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Same build. Savage and Liz get married. At the reception, there's a snake inside one of the gifts. And then later on in the year, Savage gets bit by the snake. And the classic Jack Tunney line, the snake was devenomized. But yeah, I think you had to pay this off, and they kind of rushed it at what was that paper? Tuesday in Texas. Yeah, they kind of rushed it. I thought they could have definitely played it off. I think it would have been great. I would have Savage eliminate Jake, and then Jake would take Elizabeth out to ringside later on in the match and threaten Savage that if he doesn't go over the top rope, he's going to DDT her. And then Savage eliminates himself and he goes after Jake. That would be a great way to build the match, in my opinion, Rather than Jake just, coming in and eliminating Savage himself, he's playing mind games. He wants to see how loyal he is to Miss Elizabeth. And Savage obviously he's a great face. He shows his loyalty. He eliminates himself, and yeah, that'll be the build to the feud, and they could just continue to have these promos where Savage is irate and Jake the Snake, he's very cold. He's just very cool and collected. And on the go home main event or Superstars, you can have Jake DDT Miss Elizabeth just to get more heat. I think the heat on Jake would be ridiculous. And yeah. So I'd have Randy Savage has to get the win. I mean, come on. It's a payoff to a great feud. That's what I always say in like the previous videos. The payoff to WrestleMania should be rivalries ending, and big time dream matches. So we got one of those, and that's a great rivalry ending. And for the main event, speaking of big time dream matches, we got the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. I mean, there's really not much of a build, We could have Flair win the Rumble with help from Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect can actually do what Hogan did, hold Hogan's hand, and Flair can eliminate him from behind. Ric Flair, greatest of all time. And yeah, it could just be, the reason Hulk Hogan got so big is because I didn't come to the WWF sooner and all that. So Ric Flair can talk that trash. What was that line he said? He's like, I was winning world titles while you were making movies Thunder Lips or something like that. It was pretty funny. So, yeah. And, Hogan, he can say that, you want to prove you're the best. Beat me at WrestleMania. Flair accepts. We have the dream match. And this is the thing. Who would I have win? I would personally want Ric Flair to win clean, but I don't think Vince McMahon would accept that for me, because he says, Hulk Hogan, he's the face of the WWF. We can't have Ric Flair win, the face of the NWA, the face of WCW, pin Hogan. So again, I'd probably have a smudge finish where Hogan hits the leg drop, he's going for the pin, Mr. Perfect comes out, they attack Hogan, and just like in real life, Ultimate Warrior makes his return and saves Hogan. I know it sucks to finish WrestleMania in a kind of a smudge, but that's the most realistic possibility. If I was just given full booking, I would just have Flair win by cheating. I think, you got to end WrestleMania in the matches. So if that's possible, that's how I would end it. But if Vince is not having it, you could do the, Hogan's about to win, Mr. Perfect interferes. But either way, they attack Hogan after the match. Ultimate Warrior comes out, he cleans house, and it's a great WrestleMania moment. The return of Ultimate Warrior, saving Hogan. And yeah, I think that can set up, a Warrior Flair match down the line before, Ultimate Warrior gets fired again. But yeah, guys, so that is my WrestleMania 8. Let me know what you guys think about the card. I'm going to run it down right now. Welcome to WrestleMania 8. Tatanka versus the Mountie. Owen Hart versus Rick the Model Martel. The Big Boss Man versus the Repo Man. The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels versus Tito Santana. Sgt Slaughter and Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus the Nasty Boys. For the World Tag Team Championship, Ted DiBiase and IRS Money Inc. versus Animal and Hawk, the Legion of Doom. For the Intercontinental Championship, Roddy Piper versus Bret the Hitman Hart. In the Battle of Justice versus Darkness, Sid Justice versus The Undertaker. In a grudge match, Randy the Macho Man Randy Savage versus Jake the Snake Roberts. And in the main event, the dream match for the WWF Championship, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair versus the immortal Hulk Hogan, brother.